It's Dawn from Ninja Bunny Crochet. Today I have for us to do what I'm calling my Blustery Day scarf. It is a simple 2-row repeat and it's a nice pretty shell stitch. So let's turn the camera around and let's start working on the Blustery Day scarf.
Here's an up-close view of the Blustery Day scarf, and you can see that beautiful shell stitch pattern. You can adjust the length and the width of this scarf really easily by adjusting the width of your starting chain and how many rows that you put on for your length. The width of this scarf is approximately 6 inches. The multiple for this stitch is 6 plus 2. The yarn I used to make this scarf is Lion Brand's Woolies. This yarn is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. It is a medium 4 yarn. You will need 2 balls to make this scarf. You won't use both the balls. I have about half the ball of the second ball left over, so rough estimate would be about 300 yards. But to be on the safe side, you're going to want to have 2 balls to make sure that you have enough yarn to complete your scarf, or if you decide to add fringe to your scarf, you're going to want to make sure you have 2 balls. You do not have to use this yarn. You can use any medium 4 yarn that you choose to make your scarf. I used a 6.0 millimeter hook or a J hook. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, a tape measure to measure your length of your scarf, and 2 stitch markers. Once you have all of your materials, let's get started. To start the Blustery Day scarf, we're going to start with a chain of 26. We're going to be working in the back bars of the chain. We're going to start second chain from hook. The loop on your hook does not count as a stitch, so we're going to go 1, 2, and in the second chain we're going to start with a half double crochet. I'm going to do 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way across. So just keep working, not splitting your yarn there. 1 half double crochet into each stitch or each chain all the way across. I'll meet back up with you at the end of the chain. I'm at the end of the chain. We have 25 half double crochets. To start row 2, we're going to chain 1, turn the work, and in that very first stitch we're going to place a single crochet, and we're going to place our stitch marker there for our first stitch. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, 1, 2, and in the next stitch we're going to place 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the next stitch place a single crochet. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the next stitch 5 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and do a single crochet in the next. And we're going to repeat that pattern all the way across to the last stitch, and the last stitch will be a single crochet. I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of row 2. We have our last 3 stitches. We're going to skip 2, and in our very last stitch we're going to place a single crochet. For row 3, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This chain 5 is going to count as a double crochet, chain 2. So we're going to want to place our stitch marker in the 3rd chain. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So that would be the top of the double crochet, and then we have 2 chains to represent the chain 2. Turn the work, and since this counts as our first double crochet, we do not work in this first stitch right here. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to place a single crochet at the top of the shell. Chain 2. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches of the shell, and in the middle single crochet of the previous row we're going to place a double crochet. Chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches of the next shell, and then we're going to put a single crochet in the top of that next shell. Chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches of that shell, and in the single crochet in between the 2 shells we're going to put a double crochet, just like that. Then we're going to continue working in that manner all the way to the end of the row. So chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, those first 2 stitches of the shell, single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the single crochet in between. So please continue, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of row 3. We have 5 double crochets, 4 single crochets, and 8 chain spaces at the end of this row. To start row 4, we're going to chain 1, turn the work, and in that very first stitch we're going to place a single crochet. Place your stitch marker in that stitch to mark that first stitch. We're going to skip that first chain space, and in the first single crochet we're going to place 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the next chain space, and in the double crochet, the next double crochet, we're going to place a single crochet. Skip the next chain space, and in the next single crochet, 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, we're going to skip that chain space, and in that double crochet, place a single crochet. Please continue this all the way across, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of row 4, and here's our marked stitch. We're going to be placing a single crochet in that marked stitch. The best way I can tell you how to do this is I usually put my hook right into that chain just like this, then take that stitch marker out and place that single crochet right in there like that. Now from here on out, we're just going to be repeating row 3 and row 4 until you have about 60 inches on your scarf. I will go ahead and get you started on row 5, and then I'll meet back up with you once we have that 60 inches completed. So again, we're going to start off with a chain of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to mark our third chain. So 1, 2, 3, and place our stitch marker. Turn the work. This stitch has already been worked. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and place a single crochet on the top of our shell. So as you can see, all our shells are lining up. Chain 2, 1, 2, and skip. First we're going to skip 2 stitches, and then we're going to place a double crochet into the next stitch, which is a single crochet that's between our shells. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're at the top of our next shell. We're going to place a single crochet. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, we're at that single crochet in between our shells, and place a double crochet. Chain 2. And continue all the way across till you get to the end, and that'll be the first row of our repeat. Continue working row 3, row 4, row 3, row 4 until you get to about 60 inches, and you're going to end your 60 inches with row 4, and I'll meet back up with you once you have 60 inches on your scarf, or whichever your desired length is, but you want to end with row 4. So I'll see you in a little bit. And now that we have 60 inches to our scarf, for our final row, chain 1, turn the work, and we're going to put 1 half double crochet into each stitch across, just like we have for our very first row. So just put 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way across, just to finish off the row, so our first row and our last row will match. And I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row. Come to the last stitch. We're going to take that out, the stitch marker out, and put our last half double crochet in there. We have 25 half double crochets. We're going to go ahead and fasten off and weave in our end. So let's grab our yarn needle here and thread it up. Just weave it back through. Through one more time, making sure that we're grabbing some different fibers. Let me go ahead and snip that off. And here's my scarf all rolled up, because we won't be able to show an entire 60-inch scarf all in the camera. Let's back up a little bit. So here is the completed scarf. So if you've liked this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to ring that bell so you won't miss any of my tutorials. Thanks for watching and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.